Arkadaşlar merhabalar tekrar. SR Rukiye ben. Bugün City University of London'dan temsilcimiz Gazi ile beraberiz. Size okul hakkında kısa bir sunum yapacak. Devamında ise soru cevap kısmına geçiyor olacağız. Alabiliriz. Hi Gazi, welcome. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. My name is Ghazi Lashab. I'm from City University of London. I want to first thank SIUK for inviting me to talk to you all today. My plan here today is to tell you a little bit about City University of London, but also to tell you how you're able to go and pick a UK university. So what I'll do is I'll get right into it, and then I can answer any questions that you may have towards the end of the presentation. Now, just to tell you a brief snapshot about City University of London, many times we're asked what our top-ranked programs are. Our top-ranked programs are within Bayes Business School, so the business programs, journalism, law, psychology, radiography, optometry, the LLMs, especially the Master of Laws programs, the health and social sciences, engineering, and computer science degrees such as data science, cybersecurity, and other areas such as gaming as well. Those are our main programs that we offer that are the most highly competitive and are most in demand at the university. Our campus is all located in one area, so it's all interconnected. There's one main campus, which is in Islington in central London. Many times we're asked, where is our campus in London, or where is it? Is it very centrally located? It is very centrally located. It is located in the financial part of London, the banking area, the banking district. So we are very close to the center of London. One thing that we do offer that we stand above, head and shoulders above other universities, is we offer graduate internship and placement opportunities. And we work with over 5,000 employers, including employers such as the BBC, Bloomberg, Deloitte, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Santander, The Times. And we are very lucky to be able to place students within high-profile organizations, companies, for internships, as well as third-year work placements, because of our very strong networking skills that we've created throughout the university with the help of our business school, Bayes Business School, which is one of the top-ranked business schools in the country. Now I'm going to move on and tell you a little bit about the mindset of picking a UK university. In the UK, there are many universities to pick from. Obviously, it's dependent on many factors. Many of the times I get students who come up to me and they're immediately go into a ranking university, or they've heard of a university name, or their parents have said, you know, for example, I'm alum here, why don't you look at this university? It's good to generally start looking at a university overall, as in a university, and is it a certain city you want to be in, or a certain town? For example, do you want to be in London, or do you want to be in Manchester? Do you want to be in Edinburgh? Now, one of those things that you have to think about is not only is it the location, but after you finish. So when you're thinking about locations such as, you know, again, London, Birmingham, Manchester, or maybe a small town or a small, you know, out in a rural type university, also think about, if you're going to do an internship, you're going to be based in that city most likely, or that town, or that area. So that's something to think about while you're picking the university. You don't want to just think, okay, you know, you want to be happy, you want to be thriving, because it's going to affect your studies. So you want to know, are you going to be in a city? Is that going to be too much distraction for you? Is a town better for you, or is it a rural location which is better for you? But make sure you add that towards any other information that you're thinking about, that you know you maybe wouldn't have thought of in advance, such as a job afterwards, or a third-year work placement, or an internship. Those are things that will factor into your decision-making process. Now, there are many different types of universities. There are many universities that are small, medium, large. Ours is one of the largest universities, so we're 22,000 students roughly. But that's something else that you want to think about. Do you thrive more in a large university versus a small university? Do you prefer small class sizes, 5 to 10 students? Or do you also, are you fine with, you know, being in a class with 50 students, or 75 students, or 50 or 30 students, for example? all this is based on the type of university and the size of university you'll be looking at. Now, the other thing is, when you're thinking about, for example, being in a university town in a outside a major city or within a city, you have to start thinking about, is it a campus-based university that you might be interested in? So is it like a large campus that you want to have? You want to have the grounds, you want to have huge dorms that are located within the university buildings themselves? Then that's going to narrow it down again, because you're going to be then looking at universities perhaps that are not centrally located in a city such as London, Birmingham, Manchester, and so forth. So that's another thing to think about. The cost of living as well is another thing to think about. It may be cheaper for some students to live outside of London, for example, in certain ways, such as perhaps maybe the rent might be slightly higher if you're on university housing. If you're off of university housing, then the rent, of course, in major cities is going to be a lot more expensive than being outside. So that's one other thing to think about, is your style of living, your cost of living. Do you want to be on campus? Do you want to be off campus? If you want to be on campus, then of course, you could be in a place like London. But if you wanted to be off campus, but you wanted to be in London, that would be very expensive. So these are all factors to take into consideration when you're thinking about your university studies. And that goes on to, things like societies and clubs. So for example, if you like to play football and you want to be have access to large football fields or cricket grounds or team sports, field sports, many of the universities in London offer this type of activity, but they're not going to be on the grounds of the university. You're going to have to travel outside maybe of London or Birmingham or Manchester, for example, the large cities. So these are things to take into consideration. What kind of societies and clubs or activities do you enjoy? How is this going to affect your decision-making process, and what kind of university you want to study in? And that's the same with having, many of the universities that are throughout the UK are going to offer you student support no matter what. But also look at the student support network that you're getting at the university. Really dig down, start looking at the peer support, the pastoral care, the employability after you graduate. What are the employability numbers of the university, for example? What kind of employability rates percentage-wise does the university place students after they graduate? For example, we have about a 90% employability, or doing a master's degree or another master's degree after you graduate, 3 to 6 months of graduation. So these are all different factors that you need to look into when you're picking your university through the wider student experience lens. Tailored support for specific communities. For example, we have a multi-faith center on campus. These are all things that you should take into consideration. Visas and immigration, the financial support of the university, the language support of the university. These are all things that you need to be looking at an early date, in conjunction with your other factors such as rankings, which I'll look into. I'll talk to you a little bit about in a minute. Now, we did discuss a little bit about the size of the university, small, medium, large. You'd have to look at specialist or comprehensive. So for example, what we mean by that is, if you're a social science student and you're really interested in going to a top ranked program in social science, for example, you may look at a specialized institution such as the London School of Economics. Or if you're a hardcore science student, you might look at, like, for example, Imperial College London. These are specialist institutions, what we call specialist institutions. There are still very highly ranked institutions, for example, that offer comprehensive courses. So for example, we offer comprehensive courses throughout the university, and our top ranked programs are business and journalism and psychology, for example. So we're an example of a comprehensive student university. Another comprehensive university would be a university such as University College London, or Oxford, of course, Cambridge, Birmingham, Manchester. These are all comprehensive and large, meaning they offer the full depth and breadth of the academic programs. The other thing you want to look at is, are you more interested in a traditional institution or a more modern type of institution? And these are factors that you're going to want to take into consideration when you're doing your research into the actual institutions themselves. single or multi-location. So what we mean by that is, some universities will have campuses dotted around. Some, for example, our campus in central London is all amalgamated together. It's a very comprehensive area, very tight knit. Other universities, such as King's College London, for example, will have buildings spread out throughout their campus, throughout London, or throughout certain parts of London. So you might have to commute from one to the other. Those will be multi-location. So these are all factors that you need to consider when you're looking at universities in the UK. Of course, you're going to want to look into, your interests and your specialties and research groups at these universities. So, if example, if you're a political science student or you're a computer science student and you're interested in maybe in the future doing a PhD or a master's, you want to start looking at the research groups at the university, because it might be that you might segue into doing a master's or a PhD at the same institution, or you might be thinking somewhere else. So these are all factors that you need to take into consideration while you're looking at the different types of university in the UK. The one thing that I get when I talk to a lot of students, when I visit many exhibitions, I visit secondary schools, ministries of higher education, there are many fairs and so forth. Many times the student comes to me and starts talking to me about courses or certain courses that they're interested in. First of all, you have to really drill down to the fundamentals of the course. So, for example, I had the classic one is I get many students who come to me and say, "Oh, I'd love to work in the UN Secretariat, United Nations Secretariat, or I want to work in the World Health Organization or whatever." And they immediately veer towards international relations or international political science or something of that ilk. What I do end up telling them is that, for example, if you're already starting to think about whatever area you're into, start looking at job descriptions, because it might be that the United Nations will want a journalist, or they'll want an accountant, or they'll want a lawyer, or they'll want for example, a computer scientist or an economist. So they're not going to want the traditional international relations, but they want a skill set that you can bring to the table, which means that you're probably going to be looking at, a computer science degree, or if you wanted to be a spokeswoman, a communications or journalism degree, and so forth. So you really have to, I would say, start your university search by picking your subject. And this is why, we say, pick which subject you want to pick and why. The why is a very big one, because it means that when you're looking for universities in the UK, the subjects are very, very tailored and very specific and very focused from day one. In the UK, other than the United States, which is a bit different, for 3 years you study exactly what you're going to be doing in your future, whereas in the States you'd be doing probably 2 years, or in Canada somewhere else 2 years within your subject and 2 years outside your subject. So it is very, very specific from day one. When you start your course in the UK, if you decide to change your mind, if it's not very closely related, you could potentially easily lose that first year. So really think about which subject you want to study and why you want to study that subject. How you do that, the best way is to find the passion that you're after, talk to friends, talk to family, look at job descriptions. When you're looking at job descriptions, read up about what makes you excited about the job. Is the career the right career for you? Is the pay enough? Is the career progression ceiling very high? Are you good at it? What's your aptitude at the subject, at the job description? And then look at what degrees they want for that job. Look at your day-to-day functions in the job. These are all areas which, when you start researching, you'll be able to look at the universities in the UK in a different light. Use your interests and aptitudes for this. Use rankings, subject rankings for this, and I'll get into that in a little bit later. These are all things that you need to be thinking about when you're looking at UK universities. Now, when you're looking at the universities as well, and you're looking at, for example, the rankings, and you're looking at, the location, and you're looking at the subject, which university is a great subject, and so forth, you want to look at the course extras as well. What we mean by the course extras are the study abroad opportunities. or the placement years or the field trips. So for example, at City University of London, a placement year is the third year. So as an undergraduate student, I'll use the undergraduate student example. When you come as an undergraduate student, let's say at the business school, year 1 and year 2, you'd study business. Year 3, you'd do a placement year where we'd place you in a high profile organization or company that they would pick with you. You'd go with them for the third year. You'd work with them full-time as a full-time employee, and you get paid as a full-time employee. So you'd be completely outside of the university. Year 4, you'd come back and graduate with us, and of course that gives you the merit that when you graduate, you've got a year of work under your belt. You know what you're doing. You have an idea what you really want to do, what kind of passion. You've built up some network, some skills, and these are all things that you should be looking at when you pick a UK university. Have a look at the placement years. What kind of organizations does the university place students in? Look at your study abroad opportunities, such as what kind of programs, what kind of other universities can you study in for a term or for a year, maybe perhaps somewhere else. It could be that you're interested in going to the National University of Singapore, a really highly ranked program, or maybe going to the States for a semester at, let's say, Tulane University. It just depends on the areas that you're looking into and the subject you're looking into. So there are many, many aspects of your degree program that you can look into as well. Universities with highly ranked programs will have world-class opportunities for study abroad and experiential learning. So basically, programs with a very strong business school such as ours will have very strong links with other strong business schools. So you could go to another country and do a program within business somewhere else, for example. Or if you're going to the University of Manchester, they might have a very strong program in the hard sciences somewhere else. So these are all things to look into. And the networking and complementing your chosen degree program options that you finally look into, these are all what build a part of the UK experience of getting a UK university degree. Now, I know many students always think about rankings, or it comes into a very big factor in the choice of the university that they ultimately pick. So what you need to do is drill down into the university rankings. There's a website called University League Tables UK. So what that does is I would look at the different rankings within the UK. If you're concerned about global rankings, you can also look at the QS University rankings, or the Times Higher University rankings, or the Shanghai University rankings. You can look at those overall, but that's just an overall ranking including many aspects. It's not just the academics or the research. It's student satisfaction. It's teacher to student ratio numbers. There are many factors that they put together when they come up with those rankings. Now, if you go to the University League Tables UK, that will rank all the universities in your chosen subject area. So for example, if you were wanted to be a data science student or an architecture student, you could look up architecture at the University League Tables UK, and you go to architecture and it'll rank all the universities in the UK by the subject area. And it'll also give you scores per area in, for example, the score for research within the university versus students satisfaction versus teacher to student ratio. There are many aspects of the rankings. So you can look at those and really decide what's most important for you. Is it the research of the chosen subject? Is it student satisfaction? Is it you could mix them all up and take a general overall score, or you could look at it and look at the most important factors that are most importantly for you. So consider what are the most important metrics that are for you. It's important that when you're looking at the subject area to always go back in mind again why you're looking at the subject area. Have you made up your mind to a certain career again? Is it because you're interested in the subject, or is it because you want to maybe follow in the footsteps of, for example, a family member, or get into the family business? Or just be very, very clear before you start looking into subjects, looking into the rankings of universities, looking into all that, to really think about why you want to study what you think you want to study. If you're undecided, of course, then that is another area where you start having to look at, talking to friends and family members and maybe employers. If you're an undergraduate student, then you need to talk to your guidance counselor at your school or your head of sixth form at the school. You could talk to professionals such as SIUK, for example. These are all factors that you need to take into account to start your UK university search early date. Now, just a little bit to tell you on how to apply to UK universities. There are two methods to apply to UK universities. And the reason why I'm telling you about how to apply to UK universities is because it's very different from if you're applying to somewhere like the States or Canada or Australia and so forth. So at the undergraduate level, you would apply with the UCAS application and a personal statement. Why I was speaking at length earlier about the passion for the subject, look into which career move you want to make, look at job descriptions, how much do they pay, and so forth. Again, this is going to help you when you apply. So when you apply through either UCAS as an undergraduate student, writing the personal statement, or as a graduate student, into the graduate programs, a personal statement is going to be required for either. And this is where your hard work will pay off. Your hard work will pay off in the research that you've done about what kind of job, what kind of career, your passion for the subject, your aptitude for the subject, your specialist knowledge in the area that you might have gained already through an internship or at school in a project or in an activity. These are all things that you put down in your personal statement, and this is what makes you stand out from everyone else. I've seen in the past students get into the university through our university, and I used to work at UCL. I used to work at King's College London. I used to work in the States. The British universities really look at your personal statement. They really will drill down to that because they want to know at such a focused level, is the student focused on what they want to do, when they want to do it, and at which university. When you look at postgraduate direct applications, you need to go to the respective websites. So obviously at the undergraduate level, UCAS, you pick 5 universities, you write the personal statement, and you apply to the 5 universities that you're interested in. It's the same for everybody else. At the postgraduate level, whatever university or program or if you're looking at, let's say, you want the top program in international relations, let's say you were looking at London School of Economics, for example, or Cambridge or Oxford, whatever, you need to go to their respective websites. So anything with the postgraduate level, sorry, not Oxford, Cambridge, but generally when you're looking at specific programs that offer master's degrees or PhDs, you need to go to the specific program. Same with the UCAS application. That is a completely separate thing, and SIUK are amazing, and they can help you with any of this that I just talked about regarding applications. With that, I'm going to take questions. If I can take questions now, I'm ready to take those questions from you.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Gazi, for your informations.
You're welcome.
I will start question and answer part right now. First question, do you have any accommodation scholarships?
So that is a very good question. We don't have accommodation scholarships, but what we do offer is a very is a large amount of different types of accommodation that we offer, some cost saving accommodation options, as well as we can help students to find accommodation. So if you type into Google, for example, accommodation City University of London, boom, it'll come up. The accommodation team is there, their phone number and their email, and they'll be able to help with cost effectiveness for accommodation for sure.
Okay. The second question is, are those questions kind of specific questions apart from your introduction? The question is, I am an PG offer holder. What is the deadline for accepting my offer for City?
Okay, so what they need to do, if it's a PG offer holder, what they need to do is reply to admissions. They should have let them know when the deadline was. If they haven't let them know when the deadline was, they just need to reply to that email and say, when is my deadline? When do I need to make my decision?
All right, excellent. Do you have pre-master options, and what are the entry requirements for Turkish students?
We do have pre-master. We do have pre-masters. What they need to do, it's the same for everyone. What they need to do is go into the specific course that they're interested in on our website and scroll down, and there'll be the pre-masters option if there is a pre-masters option for it. Our pre-masters options are usually through Kaplan or Into, and sometimes within the program itself, but it's basically respective on the university website. So just direct them to the website.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any specific scholarships for sports students? PG
Okay,
or
so
UG?
this is definitely a difficult one. We don't have any scholarships for sports students. Generally, the universities that offer scholarships for sports are usually a sports type university, such as a football type university, for example, in the UK or in the US, for example. But what we do offer is scholarships, other scholarships, but we don't offer full scholarships and we don't offer sports scholarships. But our scholarships can be found on our webpage. Again, if you type in City University of London scholarships, they can filter them down by undergraduate or postgraduate and look at the scholarships that we have there available.
Okay, another one is, I am an undergraduate student in psychology. What are the steps to be a clinical psychologist in the UK?
Okay, so that one is a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
And generally our courses are certified by the clinical by psychology in the UK. So what they need to do is they need to go into the course, into the our course, for example, psychology. You said it was undergraduate, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So what they need to do is go to our web page for psychology, go to the scroll down to the admissions email and ask them, what are the next steps for psychology and how to become a certified psychologist in the UK, and they'll describe that to them.
All right. The next question is, what is the best part of living in London? I think you already answered
Well,
it.
the best part living in London, pardon me?
Yes.
The best part definitely living in London is it's such an international city. There are networks from all over the world. There's many ways to look at it. It's an amazing place to start your career. It's an amazing place as a young person with the culture, uh, the many aspects of living here are so varied that they would include, people from all over the world at the same time as you living here. It affords great travel opportunities. So, for example, you can travel to Morocco for the weekend, for example, through EasyJet or Ryanair, these types of airlines. It is a city which is unrivaled, except for the large ones. It's like maybe New York, or it would be the same international mindset. Um, there's much culture, history. There is the things for students that you can do there. It's one of the most cost-effective cities in the UK, meaning that there are discounts for students for everything from travel to free museums to discounts for movie theaters, for going into other areas of culture, and so it is a very cost-effective and student-friendly city.
Yeah, there are many options to reach out for students in London.
For
The
sure.
next question is, it's about the visa. What if I don't meet financial requirements for the visa? Do you refund my deposits paid?
I believe that they do, but I don't want to because it's a kind of a special question. What I would do is urge them to go to our visa advice page and email visa advice. We have a specific team for this. So it's visaadvice.city.ac.uk. But if they just type in visa advice, for example, City University of London into Google, the visa advice page will come up, and they what they should do is email the visa advice team.
Yeah, obviously. The last one, how do you help us for career options?
Okay, so this is a very good
graduate?
question. We do have a careers advice center, and this is from day one. This is available for all students. We actually urge all students to visit the Careers Advice Center. So the Careers Advice Center is a multi-platform, meaning that not only do they give you advice on, how to look for a job, or literally show you the job listings or internship opportunities or placement opportunities, but this is available on campus from the first term, so the student can go in. They can also get help with their CV. They can get help with their cover letter. So it is a very comprehensive service that we offer.
All right, okay, thank you. That was all from questions part.
You're welcome.
All right, many thanks. You have underlined all important points today for the students. We are appreciated having you here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on today.
All right, thank you.
You have a good day now.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Arkadaşlar, bugün umarım tüm sorularınızı cevaplayabilmişizdir. Daha detaylı bilgi için SI UK ile iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Katılımınız için çok teşekkür ederiz. İyi günler.